Happy New Year, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to Do-Rag Wisdom with Earthdate Y2k19.01.03. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the Democrats' do's and don'ts. Yes, I am elated that we now have Democrats in control of one half of our legislative branch. But I'm also wary. Will this party stand as an alternative to Trumpist totalitarianism? Will they not be afraid to use the term racist Trump terror? And will they find a consistent liberal voice that can be embraced by all, including those who are avidly independent? We have 2 years before the presidential election, with plenty of time for the Trump racist terrorist to do more damage. And by the way, I'm a Democratic socialist, not a member of the Democratic Party. I'm an independent. If you think that it is going to get prettier in these final 24 months of the creep, hopefully he gets impeached before that, it'll get even uglier. The racist Trump terrorist will stop at nothing and will use every weapon in his book of lies, hatred, and fear. And in the end, the Democratic Party must pledge to fight the traitorous creep and his party, or else see the end of our constitutional democratic republic. If there was something to compromise with, I would say, by all means. But this is not a compromising situation. I know there's going to be gridlock. I know nothing's going to get done. But the one thing that will get done, this racist creep terrorist agenda will be stymied. Too bad the Democrats don't own the Senate as well, because we need a wall. Yes, the American people needs a wall of liberal politics, progressive politics, constitutional democratic politics against the totalitarian treason of the Trump and the Trumpist party. Democrats, do's and don'ts. Do not, Democrats, compromise with the racist Trump terrorist. Everything the racist birther turd is given, he considers a victory. He's a bully. You can't negotiate with this creep. He's a traitor. He's an authoritarian. Should have never been in there in the first place if it wasn't for the Electoral College bull crap. So we've got to understand that you do not compromise unless the creep comes up and says, let's do infrastructure. Do it, Democrats. Let's do clean energy. Do it, Democrats. Let's legalize weed. Do it, Democrats. But if he's going to build a wall and keep immigrants out and racist, totalitarian birther crap that he is, you got to stand firm. But you got to remember, even if you win on these issues, he doesn't look at it as a win for everybody if he is able to do an infrastructure bill with the Democrats. It'd be wonderful. But he would consider it his victory. He's like a very, very mean King Kong. He's gonna, do his chess thing, all the time, whether he should take full credit or not. And what he'll do is he'll take whatever the Democrats compromise, which I hope they do not. He'll take anything that he can and he'll use it as a propaganda tool for his clueless followers. Do keep Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House for now. I emphasize, for now. The Democratic Party does need younger leadership to carry it through further into the 21st century and beyond. But until the newcomers get their feet wet and get the lay of the land, they need to take advantage of and rely on veteran leadership. Until we get this traitor creep out of our lives, the Democratic Party must keep its leadership in place. If racist terrorist Trump, and remember, I'm not afraid to use those words, goes down in defeat in Y2k20, that will be the appropriate time for Nancy Pelosi to step down and pass on the mantle to the next generation of younger leaders. And the party must continue to steer toward liberalism. In this era, because the Democratic Party's got to get that liberalism is. The meanness now has been transferred over to the Republican Party, which is now the Trumpist Party. The real Republican Party is now being held hostage. Do keep big money out of our politics. Each member of the Democratic Party must pledge to raise money from the people, which means that we have to be involved. We have to get out there and give these folks the donations they need to help them run. They must get the money from the people. Don't endorse presidential candidates who are rich enough to fund their own campaigns, like the Urbans and especially the Bloombergs. I mean, forget about the Bloombergs. That's for another story. And of course, do not support candidates who take campaign donations from super PACs, corporations, or the like. Corporations are countries unto themselves with their own agenda on how they see the world and how they see the way we should live. They're the most dangerous force next to these authoritarian creeps and oligarchs. The idea that these companies want to run our entire planet, us, them into the sky, us into the ground. The Democratic Party must in this era be the party of the people. Do Democrats protect our voting rights? Make sure this 2020 census isn't skewed. Do protect our voting rights once again, our free press, and our rule of law. Do endorse a Green New Deal. Time is running out for the residents of our planet. While the planet itself may ultimately heal herself of the wounds that we have inflicted on her, we as a species will die out in the fury of future climate change storms. It is time once and for all to protect the future for our young people and for theirs to come. The Democratic Party must be extreme in its protection of our planet. They must once again support the Green New Deal. Do launch investigations into the racist Trump terrorist and do not let up. This birther creep is guilty as sin and has been trying to obstruct justice from day one. People who are innocent are not afraid to be investigated. Innocent people do not obstruct justice. No one should be above the law. And if this guy was innocent, it would have been settled a long time ago. Democrats, while you're investigating this creep, because that's important, do attempt legislation. Talk and chew gum at the same time, with the understanding that in this climate, and we should all understand this, ladies and gentlemen, in this climate, there is going to be mostly gridlock. The GOP, as we saw, they ran everything, did not know how to legislate. They're totalitarians in this era. It's not that party, it's a totalitarian party. So in this era, this party, the Trumpist party, is into gridlock. I have to accept that. We have to accept that. So what the Democrats have to do while they're investigating the racist, traitor, terrorist Trump, they have to also attempt legislation, with the understanding again that in this climate there will be gridlock. I mean, if the GOP was in charge, they would be giving tax breaks to the rich. They would continue to assault our planet and assault our rule of law and assault human dignity and allow this racist, traitor, terrorist, birther, bastard, scumbag Trump to get away with everything. Murder, like shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue. I mean, that's coming next, and that would have come next. Do make sure the voters know what the Democratic Party stands for with every bit of legislation they can introduce that will show that this party, the Democratic Party of this era, supports the people, respects the struggles they have in their real lives. Make the voters see who, in the end, stands with them and who stands against them. And it should be obvious. Democrats don't compromise progressive ideas and ideals with limousine, liberal, blue dog hypocrisy. People want Democrat progressive, not Democrat Republican light. Do understand the kind of fiend we have in our White House. A racist, birther, dictator-loving terrorist. Do understand that Trump is a classic sociopath. There is no negotiations with a sociopath. What is a sociopath, Democrats? What is a psychopath, Democrats? In order to defeat the enemy of our country, we must understand the enemy of our country. We must understand the rules needed to defeat him or her. In this case, him. Count Dracula. The rules. Remember how you conquer the vampire? You have to have rules. Understand them, their limitations. Without understanding the nature of our enemy, we will never be able to defeat him. And this idea is coming up next at this theater.